All right, we're gonna make roasted beets with horseradish cream and citrus. This was the most popular salad at my South restaurant in London years back. Between the textures and flavors and even the colors, this sexy dish just hits all the buttons and a perfect highlight as a small bite at your next cocktail party. All right, we're gonna start off by roasting the beets. Those take the longest. That's the longest part of the dish. So we're gonna start off with some golden beets here, okay? The nice thing about using golden beets is that you really don't have to use gloves when you're cleaning them. If you're using red beets, you seriously need to wear gloves. Otherwise, you're gonna be staining your hands and your cutting board once you're peeling them. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add those baby beets. We'll cook them all, but we're gonna separate the small ones from the large ones, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and sprinkle them with a little bit of salt. I'm gonna go ahead and use some olive oil on there, okay? I'm gonna use a little bit of thyme, okay? I'm just putting some whole leaves in there, some whole stems, doesn't matter. We're roasting them and you're really just using these flavors for them to slow roast together. And they really take on a ton of the flavor. Use a little bit of citrus, gonna roll it before I use it, a little bit of lemon. I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze that lemon and go ahead and just add that whole half a lemon to that. Toss that up, make sure those are evenly coated. All right, let's set that aside. We're gonna make these little tin foil boats, okay? So the way that we make these boats is you wanna make sure that you're using a heavy duty tin foil. We're gonna go ahead and just layer these boats on here. We're making 2 of these, so let's grab 2 of those pieces. We'll go ahead and make a boat here for the beets, okay? So you wanna preheat the oven to about 325, okay? So lower heat, this is gonna be a combination of almost steaming and slow roasting, okay? Because they're gonna steam in these sort of pouches, these tinfoil pouches. So then you're gonna take these little boats, we're gonna separate some of the smaller beets and the larger beets. So I'm gonna take the larger beets, put those in these 3 larger beets, and then the smaller beets, these are all pretty consistent in size. And they're gonna cook a little bit faster than the larger ones. I'm gonna put those in there. You can just add all the leftover bits and pieces, that little bit of oil and salt, and that's it, all right? So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure those are arranged in there so you can close it. And what I'm doing here is I'm leaving some room. I'm not tightly pressing them. I'm leaving some room for them to actually really steam also during the cooking process. So that's ready to go. I'm gonna set that on a baking tray. Do the same thing with this one, leaving some room for that airflow to happen, okay? So just want to remember, these are the smaller beets. These are going to finish a lot faster than the larger beets. So on 325, I'm going to put those in the oven for almost an hour, hour and 20, okay? All right, so we're going to go ahead and make that horseradish cream. So we're going to start off with a non-dairy cream cheese. I like to use Kite Hill. Kite Hill is one of my favorites, okay? I'm going to go ahead and also use some Kite Hill yogurt, okay? Plain yogurt is one of my favorites to use. I'm gonna set that aside. Let's use some green onion in there. You can use a little bit of shallot, a little bit of red onion also. I'm gonna use some horseradish. So I have some horseradish root. I'm gonna go ahead and peel that. I'm also gonna finish this dish with horseradish, so I wanna make sure I keep a little bit out for the finishing plating of this beet salad. So you can use prepared horseradish also, that works really well. Go ahead and shave that. Get plenty in there, it gives a really nice bite to this cream. A little bit of sea salt. Okay, some black pepper. All right, and that's it. I'm just gonna mix that up really well. I'm gonna set that aside, and this is going to be the base cream for this beet salad. I'm gonna set that aside, and we're gonna segment the grapefruit. All right, so the grapefruit, segmenting any citrus, easy way to do it here is I'm gonna go ahead and slice the top off. I'm gonna cut through that pith, okay? And basically using my knife, I'm gonna go all the way down, cutting most of that pith off, okay? You know, these citrus slices almost kind of melt in your mouth, opposed to using, you know, if you were just to use segments, get sort of that membrane in there that is a little bit more chewy. So, all right, let's go ahead and segment this grapefruit. So you're just gonna slice right along the edge of where the membrane is. So you can see that very, very delicate citrus is gonna add such a nice sweetness, sort of juiciness to this beet dish. Just gonna walk around here, doing each segment, cutting all the way through here. Let's get these segments set aside. All right, now that your prep is done, the beets are in the oven. Let's let them cook for a little bit longer until they're fork tender. We'll take them out, we'll let them cool, and we'll peel them and get them ready for the final dish. All right, so these have been cooling for a little while here. The larger beets, these cook for about 10 minutes longer than the smaller ones. All right, so you can tell that these are done, one, because they're fork tender, you can either poke a knife in them or a fork. But after they've cooled, you can actually, what's really nice is you can gently peel off all the skin as such. Gonna get off as much skin as you can. If you need to take out a paring knife, that works. Gonna go ahead and just piercing the skin and just kind of moving around. It should come off really gently. This is the nice thing about using yellow beets opposed to red beets, because you certainly would need to use some gloves if these were red. Stain your hands. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and quarter these up now. Since these are small bites, I'm gonna go a little bit smaller than quarters. Place them right back in there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and season those. I have a little bit of sherry vinegar, just a little bit of vinegar in there, a little bit of olive oil as well, a little bit of sea salt, and that's it. I'm just gonna go ahead and gently toss those up. Let's go ahead and plate those up. So I have that horseradish cream. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little dollop on the bottom of each one of these spoons. All right, let's grab grapefruits as well. Some of them are a little bit larger, so you can go for the smaller ones. All right, and we're finished that with a little bit of fresh arugula here. Right. Now, if I was gonna serve this as a salad, I love to finish it off with a little bit of fresh horseradish root over top. Also, for these little bites, it's such a nice touch. I mean, visually, as well as, of course, the sharpness of the taste. So there you have it, roasted baby beets with the horseradish cream and some citrus. Roasted beets with horseradish cream. This was one of the most popular dishes at South Restaurant over in London. I've served it at many.